Hello everybody! In this video we'll walk down to Millbeck and the Boggle Hall, a famous place near Robin Hood's Bay. I'm gonna show you beautiful summer landscapes of this coastal area in North Yorkshire and take you through a labyrinth of narrow streets in Robin Hood's Bay. Let's go! I'm going for the first more or less long walk in the Robin Hood's Bay. I don't know anymore what this place is called. I'll tell you later. The weather is perfect. Summers here are pretty cool. Occasionally you get high temperatures up to 30, but even then it doesn't feel too hot because of the sea breeze. It's so opposite to Bulgaria, where we are temporarily based now. Check out the video in the right upper corner if you want to know about this more. So just plus 25 in Bulgaria feels super hot there, and normal temperatures in summer they're between 32 and 37. That was one of the reasons we chose to come to Robin Hood's Bay in July. On a sunny day like this, it feels really comfortable to walk along the fields and through the forest. There are wild blackberries all around, and sometimes you can find raspberries. Meh.
Meh. Say meh.
Meh.
In that shed there, I got booted off my feet by a cow when I was a little kid. Luckily I had half a straw bale in front of me. If I hadn't have had it, it would have probably ruptured all my internal organs. Bastards. They still didn't pay me.
Claim it now.
These are all the places where my husband grew up and lived till he was 18 years old. He was the oldest of 6 siblings and they played a lot in the open air. Once when he was 5 years old and his brothers were like 2 and 3 years old, they decided to escape home and went all the way down to Millbeck. They were caught when they stopped at the farm to ask for water. Luckily, Pete often says it's strange all of them survived childhood after playing in the wild, at cliffs and in the sea. North York Moors is one of the most wooded of England's national parks. Woodland and forest covers about 23% of the national park. That's over 300 square kilometers of trees, so it's of huge importance. Woodland also clothes many of the valley sides, giving the landscape a distinctive character. There is an abundance of such trees as oak, ash, birch and rowan thrive, as well as shrubs such as hazel and hawthorn. In the damper ground, alder often grows.
It says this reminds me of Bulgaria, so it's not quite as developed, but it's,
Woodland might cover over a fifth of the national park now, but after the last ice age ended about 10,000 years ago, a forest of Scots pine, oak, birch, hazel and elder trees covered not just the whole national park but almost all of Britain. This wildwood was home to many animals, including some that are now extinct in Britain, such as wolves and wild boar. When the first Stone Age people came to the North York Moors, about 8-10 years ago, they hunted animals and gathered plants for food. By the Iron Age, about 4,000 years ago, people were learning how to farm crops and animals. Trees were cut and burned down to make clearings for farms. The population grew and the removal of trees continued. By the Middle Ages, most of the woodland has disappeared.
This is Millbeck. A lot of people think this is Boggle Hole. It isn't Boggle Hole, this is Millbeck, because that building there used to be a mill that had a big water wheel and made flour and everything. Now it's a youth hostel. Boggle Hole is round the corner here. And that's where the Boggle lives. And I'll show you that later. We're having a cup of tea first.
Ooh, yeah!
There's a youth hostel in Millbeck where we made a stop for a cup of tea.
In fact, would you like a ginger beer as well? You can't share all my moments with the world. This is the boggle. This is where the boggle lives. The boggle is a small mythical creature. If your child is sick, you bring down a present of milk or egg or something nice for the boggle and ask him to make your child better. And he makes your child better if he's in the mood to do it.
Mm-hmm. And why is this legend?
Why what?
Who created this
Created what?
story?
Stories, old English myth. Mythical little creatures go back hundreds and hundreds of years, and one of them was called Robin Goodfellow. And Robin Goodfellow was one of the core elements of the Robin Hood legend, but Robin Hood wasn't a real person. Robin Goodfellow was an earlier myth. Robin Hood is based, or partially based on this little mythical creature that helps people out. And that is probably where the name Robin Hood's Bay comes from. Robin Goodfellow, not Robin Hood.
I prefer the Robin Hood version.
Oh, you love your choice.
No, that was my childhood hero.
Talking about the coastal part, it is internationally important for its geology. It was here that in the 19th century the geologists started to form the foundations for the early science. The rocks on the cliffs and shore formed during the Jurassic period, around 180 million years ago. These sandstones and shells contain fossilized remains of the plants and animals that lived at this time, from ammonites to dinosaur footprints. That's why so many people come here to hunt for ammonites.
So we walked all the way uphill and then we turned to this youth hostel and ended up at the seashore. And there's the Robin Hood's Bay, the village over there. We made a loop and coming back home now. It's so beautiful here. Look at all these stones covered with seaweed. No wind, very warm but not hot. I love this place. We're walking through the alleys where you can easily get lost, they say.
We are walking back through the labyrinths of these tiny streets in Robin Hood's Bay, along the houses where people live, and it's really nice here. It's like a dream place for kids to live, because there are so many places to hide when you play something There is nature, there's fresh air, there's sea, there's lots of ammonites and stuff. Oh, very beautiful.
There's some better ones there.
It's amazing.
Oh yes.
When I came up one day last week before you came, hundreds of bees all flew around here.
Probably the Queen's
Yeah, the big
drones.
swarming,
With
yeah.
There's a beehive in that chimney.
Nest.
Wow.
There's loads of honey in there. Can you see the bees? B-I-N-G-O and bingo. See. The camera woman.
Thank you.
Come on, you.
Ghosty tunnel.
We're walking further on the top now.
Yeah, this area, yes.
And here we are nearly home.